positive self-talk is something that like changed my life. Like I use it on the mat, off the mat, and just becoming your own number one fan. And
Yes.
the moment I shifted that, my tummy got better. I was having so much more fun. It wasn't stressful, but becoming your own number one fan is just the best way to really inspire yourself.
Welcome to today's episode of the Here for Cheer podcast. I am so excited and honored to have the Jack Kidney on today. He is a six-time world champion. He is also an international cheer consultant. And I think he's most well known for not only his incredible abilities as an athlete and as a coach with connecting with his teammates and, and the impact he has on the youth in our sport, but he's also just well known for his positivity. You're a ray of light, and I think that's something so amazing to be known for, is how you are just such a positive person that finds the good, sees the good in kind of every situation, and I'm so grateful to have you on today as a guest. So welcome to the show, Jack Kidney.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here. And the moment I had this opportunity to hop on with you guys, I like was over the moon over it. I just think that something I love about this podcast that I've been seeing is just like the positivity that you're bringing to the sport. So it aligned exactly with me. So I'm so grateful to be here, and
Yes.
you're also one of my favorite people.
You're
So
like
I'm
my
so excited.
spirit animal, I feel like. Like I love that we're both kind of that same positive outlook, like, almost
Yes.
overly positive sometimes. People I'm like, I might be a little too positive, but I think it's, especially it's important. So, let's kind of kick off and talk about your comeback season. That 2025 comeback season, winning
Yeah.
worlds yet again, with that Top Gun double O team. Tell us a little bit about that.
Last season was this journey for me that I was really determined just to see the sport through. And I feel like as an athlete, we're always trying to complete the journey and find the end of the tunnel when in terms of, our sport and our passion. And for me, I love cheerleading. Like it's my everything. I wake up thinking about it. And a few seasons ago, I was still cheering down at Top Gun, and I had suffered an Achilles rupture. And this was back in the 2022 season. And that kind of segmented me transitioning to more like working in the sport even more. But I still didn't get to finish the sport on my own terms with Top Gun. And it was really amazing last season to get that opportunity to even try. Like it was really cool for me because, the sport evolves within one season. Like
Absolutely.
so like from 2022 to 2025, the stunts are so much harder. And I'm like at the practices like, oh my gosh, Coach Victor, when did it get this hard? Like
Yeah.
it there was so many aspects of it that was like really cool also with the lens that I was looking at it in. I tried to take it in as an athlete, but also as a coach of like, what are they doing right now that I can help others kind of take with it? And like, it was just such a fun experience. And so I joined the Top Gun back in 2012, and to get to end that aspect of it with my coach who I've had for so long was like dream come true. And
Yeah.
yeah, it was a really special season for me. Probably one of my most favorite seasons I've ever had. And also was more challenging than I expected because coming back from injury, and I feel so blessed because my coaches were very understanding of me. And, you know, after navigating an Achilles rupture, there's a lot of different like days where I'd wake up and be like, I wish I could tumble today, but today's not the day. And their understanding really made me feel comfortable enough to be my best version. And I ended up competing some tumbling that I never thought I would do again. So it was like
That's amazing.
really cool.
I love that. And then how, did you kind of prepare mentally? Like, can you talk a little bit about myself? I've never been a high level athlete and, faced an injury. Like, what was that like? And how did you kind of push through that?
I had like different cheer moments. Like rolled ankle because of an aerial in my grass and things like that. But I hadn't ever had like a serious injury, and it was really interesting to find myself without the sport first and then come back to the sport because it was like a new level of like gratitude and appreciation from like I remember my first handstand I did after the surgery and those things. So I kind of just tried to keep my mindset of just being like grateful to even have the chance to try. And I just remember like one practice we were doing like final cuts and they're announcing the teams, and I just like remember when they announced my name on the team, I was just like absolutely like shocked. I was like,
Oh,
I couldn't believe it. Like it was just like wow, like to even though I tried to do it again was like it was enough because I'm someone who always says like I'd rather know than always question.
yes.
So to give it a shot was enough, and then to have it come through to what that season was is like so crazy.
Ugh, you are such an inspiration for everyone in our sport, and I can't wait for athletes to listen to this and, just have that reminder that you can find the good and the gratitude in really hard situations, and that is
Yeah,
such an important component of being an athlete. Because 'cause I'm sure it could have been easier to just think of all, the poor me and, like, this is so sad and, like, so awful, and I love that you chose to try to find some good in it and that,
yeah.
you did finish the season on your own terms. So now just tell me a little bit about what makes Top Gun so special.
Oh my gosh, what a question. I think speaking for me, I discovered cheerleading via YouTube, and I remember watching the caption, the title of it was Top Gun World's 2009 Best Sound Quality, and I think I was 100,000 of the views, and just watching it over and over and over again, and just to get to be around so many other people who inspire you in one building is something
Mhm.
that has continued to make me just always challenge myself and push limits. And it's like a place that I've been able to really find my true potential and also be challenged. And, you know, like random example, but last year, like if we, by the end of the season, if we got this out, we'd have to film like 30 to 40 reps a day. And I was like, when did we start doing this? Like,
Yep.
and just like there's times when I was like, wow, like I'm here like every day of the week practicing, and like it was really just it's a place that every time I go into, I get a different challenge or a different thing that makes me evolve.
Yeah.
And to me, they've just been family to me for so long, and I think that's been really special.
Yes.
They've been present throughout so much of my life, and it's really cool to see how far the program has developed. Like
I know.
when I first joined Top End, we only had two locations,
Wow.
and now to have I think it's nine now. Like
Yeah. It's
crazy.
so amazing though. Everyone looks up to their, like, kind of impact in our sport for sure. And I think it's so special that you've been a part of that journey. And then how is it, it must be so different coming with teammates that are coming from all over. I think that's something that's so unique and special about especially the high level teams at
Yeah,
Top Gun is it's not a group of kids that have grown up together. I mean, I'm sure there are some that are from there, but you're getting all these different personalities and all these different people that you're meeting and getting to build relationships with from all across the country and maybe even the world. But what is that kind of experience like of putting all those personalities and coming from different backgrounds all together?
it's like the New York City melting pot of cheerleading, and I think
Yes,
it's
yes.
really cool to just see the different stylistic aspects of people coming in and then taking the techniques of Top Gun to their training. And I can kind of give you two lenses on it as well. So getting to cheer around all these different people is like so motivating, so inspiring. It really shows the different dynamics of the sport, and you can kind of see where different programs what they focus on,
Yes.
which is really cool to see. And
That's
like
so
what could
cool.
we take from that training? And then
Yes.
on the coaching side, so in 2022, I coached Lady Jags, and it was such an amazing special season with them. And one of the challenges of it was that every year you have so many people come in with different tumbling approaches.
Uh-huh.
And a lot of times in tumbling, to me, it is you create good habits. And to match everyone's habit was really difficult because it's 19 different versions of,
Mhm.
decades of experience. Because if you really count how long each kid cheers and add it all together, I do this with everything one of my teams. It's like, I want everyone to count up the years you've cheered. Let's put it together. How much experience do we have?
Yeah.
And it ends up being like over 100 years of cheerleading almost
Wow.
every time. So it's really cool to kind of see them come in and then take the training at Top Gun and apply it and kind of take it to the next level. But it
Oh,
is really hard because, in the full out setting, your go to is your normal habit of,
absolutely.
yeah. So breaking that down, I ended up having to be pretty particular of like each individual kid as opposed to like coaching a team as a whole sometimes because they didn't grow up through the program.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just knowing just different aspects of it. But it
Yeah.
was really cool. It was definitely crazy.
I love that that's just a different kind of unique challenge that you're faced, and it must be so special to just now know all these people from all over. Like, I think that's so great and such a wonderful kind of thing to have is, your people and have them be from all different places. That's really cool. Okay, so kind of like finishing up with Top Gun stuff, what would your advice be to an athlete that, has a dream of coming to, cheer at Top Gun? Like, what's your advice for that kid?
Um, Honestly, my advice is to come and just step foot in the gym one time and feel the energy and get to see the environment, the people, the passion, the heart, and most importantly, just communicating to people and the coaches. And I think when you tell people your intention and like that aspect of things, you're able to help set a pathway that gives you steps. So
Absolutely.
we have different athletes who come down and they do maybe 3 visits throughout the year where they're getting to experience the gym, see it, test it, because also it is a big move. So you never want to commit to something that you don't know is the right fit.
Yes.
So
Yeah, that's great. I love it. Okay, awesome. Okay, let's talk a little bit about your kind of international cheer, experiences, and about how different that culture is or how similar it is with us here in the States.
honestly, my like obsession is international cheerleading.
Love
It
it.
is a it's like a world of the sport that once I found, I became absolutely obsessed with. And so now for even talking about it is crazy to me because like I think of like little Jack and he's just like, I can't even believe you're doing this. Like,
I
but
love it.
now I've been to Austria, Canada, Brazil, England, Argentina,
Wow.
New Zealand, and worked with some different programs who come for end of season events that I get to work with. So worked with some South Korean teams and teams from Japan. So it's just like a really, really cool experience for me. I think that getting to like show how like universal the sport is
Uh-huh.
so nice. And
Yeah.
it's really like there's so many similarities just in different realms. And it was actually really cool for me. So this past weekend, one of my best friends has a program in Brazil,
Okay.
and I competed in Rio with her team.
Wow.
And it was an insane experience. Like
I
one of
bet.
my like top 10 favorite experiences ever. And it was really cool for me as well because I've had teammates on Double O who are from South America and don't speak English. So then to be switched roles with them and everyone's talking Portuguese around me in the middle of the pyramid, and I'm just like,
What?
I don't know what's happening. It was like my
Yeah.
favorite part of the routine actually, because I was like, what? Like
Yeah.
it was crazy. But it was just cool because you can like we're like huddled up about to go on stage and like, you know, some language you don't even need to know the words to feel the passion of them like
Yes.
speaking that like moment before you take the mat. So it was really, really cool. And one of my main things I really want to do is just help the sport develop and
Yes. And
teach
it's
different.
come so far already. I
Oh
mean,
my
just
gosh.
seeing, like, to be at the ICU championship and, like, to see these countries, it is absolutely phenomenal.
Like that is probably, I look forward to IC all year
Oh,
long.
it is. It's so cool just to see the way that it's evolved and the catch up. Like, I also just love to see these countries coming and just they are catching and surpassing in certain areas of things, and it's so cool to, um, see how it's just everywhere, and yeah, I
Yeah,
love it.
and it's like I think it's really like what makes me really feel passionate about it too is that as it's developing in these different countries, like that's what's going to keep growing the sport. Like
Yes.
one aspect that was like really influential on me was working with Team Austria. I had the opportunity when I was living in Orlando, going to UCF, and they came in for ICU, and I came in as just a guest instructor for the day.
Yeah.
And every country has their own different protocol, different things. So that specific season of ICU, Team Austria is just developing. So they instead of having like national team tryouts, they pick different specific clubs. So I was working with Danube Dragons, and it was like a really eye-opening experience. And they ended up getting their first ever medal for the country that
Oh,
year.
wow.
And it was a moment in time that now when I see how big Team Austria has become, they're having national team tryouts, they have a co-ed squad, like those are the things that make me want to keep staying involved with the sport. And
Yes.
on the aspect of as countries get different achievements, they get more funding from the government, they get more opportunity. So it's really, really cool to see how like it went from just club team season to like now they have national team tryouts and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Team Austria is giving everyone a run for their money. I
I
remember when they
love
won
it.
their first ICU World Championship, and it
Yeah.
was just like a
That's really cool. Okay, so how, as a coach and an athlete, I know you're big on keeping it fun. What would your advice be for coaches listening to like keep it as a really fun environment for these kids, and how important it is that they love what they do and they enjoy, the process?
yeah. I think because I'm always balancing being an athlete and being a coach. That
Hmm.
was something I always think about is would I want to experience that? Was that a fun practice? Like what can we get out of it? And like I think we can all agree too, like when you're having fun, everything is better.
Yes.
Your technique ends up being better, the
Yes.
experience is better, the energy is better. And I just try to bring that part of it too. I think what stems from it for me was that I used to be a really nervous performer, really nervous for practice. And once I was able to kind of shift my mindset to like not stressing, enjoying it, having fun, it just made it so much better for everyone involved. And something I really like do for it is just like, you know, if you see a practice mood shift, like bringing it in, switching the vibe, and not
Hmm.
getting caught up on things. Like sometimes at the end of the day, it's cheerleading. Like
Yes.
you could
Yes.
be so prepared and things will still go wrong. So
Yes.
at the end of the day, um, in 2013, my before I took the stage for the first time with Pop Gun at World, my like best friend, like we're about to go on stage, and I like idolized her. She was our center dancer. Her name is Oriana Tapasco. I actually just saw her this past weekend. Loved her. Uh,
Yay.
yeah, it was such a good reunion. She like looks at me and like I'm like little, like so young. I'm like, oh my god, and she like looks at me. She's like, Jack, it's just cheerleading, and it was like such a like significant moment because like here's someone who like I idolized like
Yes.
in the moment about to be one of our biggest moments, just like putting it to what it really is. It's supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be
Yes.
stressful. And
Yes.
I always try to just like remind myself that it is so fun and that, you know, something about it too is like we're so lucky to get to do it and reminding them of that, of
Hmm.
reminding them that, you know, we're just so blessed to get that opportunity to be
Yes.
here doing this, celebrating together. So let's enjoy it. And
Yeah. Those 2 golden nuggets, I think, I mean, I can't wait to bring back to my own program, that to reflect as a coach and even, like, as a gym owner at how would I feel in that practice setting. Like, I love that takeaway, that we should all reflect at the end of our practice, because I think as a coach, there are times that I could say, "Wow, yeah, I would wanna be at that practice," and other times, I could do better, I could do better
yeah,
and be better for my kids, and I think that reflection is so important, and also that you are one of hands down the best athletes in our sport, truly. I mean,
well,
You are, and that you can give that advice to kids that at the top of your game, that it's just cheerleading still, as incredible
Yeah.
as you are. And then, so with, athletes, what's your advice to keep it fun? Because I think a lot of times these high level kids, they put so much pressure on themselves. It's not even something that a coach needs to pressure. They are so hard on themselves and so, just chasing perfection, that we all know perfection does not exist, but they're so
Yes.
hard on themselves. How do you kind of balance that as an athlete?
I do so many different random things, and I think it's like pinpointing the part of the sport that you love and creating it as an incentive for yourself to, maybe when the times are more difficult, to use it as incentive. So something I'm obsessed with the trampoline. Like me and the trampoline are best friends. We've been best friends like for so long. I do people's routines on there. I do
Yes.
stunt recreations, baskets, and it's like it's my like is my favorite pastime in the world. So this season, something I did was I made an alarm on my phone that was 20 minutes after practice, and if I hit my pull out, I would give myself 30 minutes on the trampoline.
I love this.
So like sometimes if the practice is hard, it's like Jack, you can do this. You want to go on that trampoline, Jack? Like, come
Yeah.
on, like so like sometimes the statement the work is worth it is really true. Cheerleading is so difficult and on every level.
Yes.
So to think of it now, it's like being able to accept that the challenge is worth it and to find the good in the moment, even if it's a reminder to yourself, like, work hard so you can experience this, or take a moment that to decompress and do something you love. Because sometimes I know I'll leave the gym and like I can't even go to sleep sometimes because of whether practice is good or bad. I'm thinking about it, and
Yes.
um, so finding different ways to decompress to take yourself out of the moment so you can find the balance of it. In 2019, I did a talk at Woodward about positivity and mindset. And I remember talking with you after, and you gave me such great advice to, really inspired me to keep finding more knowledge on it. So I actually ended up taking a positivity class at the University of Central Florida. That
Wow.
next year, actually, I can't believe I haven't told you this.
Yeah.
Literally, yeah, like signed up for a positivity class, um, and just like learn different techniques of what you could bring to it, and just like different gratitude practice and just like different stats on it, just trying to find like ways, and like positive self talk is something that like changed my life. Like I use it on the mat, off the mat, and just becoming your own number one fan. Because growing up, there was times when I one of my biggest regrets, I got to my dream team forever was TGLC, and I got to be on it. And my biggest regret in cheerleading is that I got to fulfill this dream of being last pass on the team. But the 2 years I was last pass, the only performance that I can say that I like really didn't wasn't critical of myself was my last one. And I just went now I'm like someone who's like, just always be your own number one fan. And
Yes.
the moment I shifted that, my tummy got better. I was having so much more fun. It wasn't stressful. But becoming your own number one fan is just the best way to really inspire yourself too.
Yes. Okay, so how can an athlete use positive self-talk?
Finding different mantras that really match something that resonates with them. Like something I would always, for me specifically, I was like, "You've earned this. You deserve this. I believe in you." Like, and you can either say it out loud or in your head, or like I would actually be yelling it sometimes in my tumbling,
Yeah.
and just finding that different cadence of when you're saying it, and then within my own routine, there'd be a specific moment that I would say every time. So it's like individual mini routines within my actual routine
Yeah.
that would also be like reset buttons. And on my side of coming back from an injury, it was also nice reminders of like, you're strong enough. You have worked hard enough. You are conditioned enough to do this.
As a coach, how do you incorporate mindset training into your practices? Like how important do you think it is that coaches are spending some time on that mindset positivity piece? And what are some, kind of takeaways that a coach can learn from you?
I mean, I can say something I'm really happy about is I do see the sport finally shifting towards a bit more focus on it, where I feel like for years there was not much discussion of it, and I'm definitely seeing like a really nice change within the sport. Um, One of the main things is just always being able to bring it in, reset the team, and then talk about the good. If you focus only on the negative, the hardship, you know, what happens is that at the end of the season, at the end of it all, if you don't achieve that, whatever the end goal that either an athlete has in their head, if that's not achieved, then you have to look back at the story and say, when they look back on that story, are they gonna love it? Are they gonna think, wow, like I love that journey? And as a coach, our job is to make that journey special and fun and positive and, you know, help them take away um, something really cool the program in Brazil was doing, which I'm taking with me now, is they at the last 5 minutes, every single team in the program does a 5 minute meditation to a specific song. They do it every practice, all levels, and it actually created like a community within the gym. And it just was a way for everyone to decompress. And I think it's also important for us as coaches to give the kids an opportunity to decompress before they get in that car on the way home, to take a moment, and it relaxes. And I could see, like, even after the hard practices with these teams, like, the level of intensity is dropped. I was like,
Wow.
yes, Brazil.
Was it the
Okay,
same song? I want the song. Like, this they
yes.
played the same song every
Yep.
time?
The same song every time. I will get it and I will send it to
I
you.
want it.
And
I
when
need
this
it.
is posted, I will find the song and I'll comment on it down below. But it was
Amazing.
really cool. And even like the youth age kids, they do it. So it's like you're never too young to learn how to, you know, decompress and meditate and balance and, you know, take a moment for yourself.
Yes. Yes. That's great.
Work. Okay,
Yes,
yes.
let's go Brazil. I love it. That's really cool. Okay, when I heard you speak in 2019, like we talked about, that was like one of the first times I personally just fell in love with you and
Mhm.
the delight and joy you brought to the world. You know, like talking to athletes, I could see how they connect so well with you, and I think what you kind of give is so special. But you talked a lot about social media and avoiding comparison. So, can you touch a little bit on that and how important it is that an athlete, is not comparing, whether it be on social media, whether it be in a practice in the gym, and how everybody is different, built different, tumbles different. And I think that was a really important takeaway that I would love for you to touch on.
People say the saying of like, be your own main character. And I think that's so important and falling in love with your own story. And when you're able to appreciate someone else's journey and not let it take away from your own, that's when you really get to find out being the best teammate for someone else and being the best version for yourself as well. So I always just tried to, you know, appreciate what I was doing and not get lost in the process of, looking at someone throwing more difficult tumbling this than me, because knowing myself, when I would do any comparison, that's when I would lose myself. It kind of ties back to what I said a little earlier, like you're just so lucky to do this. So that's another aspect I say to athletes as well, is like it's important to be able to appreciate what you're doing without, you know, wanting more, because it's like I'll never be Simone Biles, but I can love every aspect of her tumbling
Uh-huh.
beyond measure. And, you know, there's always going to be someone greater. There's always going to be someone better. And that's going to be what keeps the sport evolving till we retire, till we're done. So it's like, I love seeing this like development and like, getting to work. I do some work with Infinity Gen Next. Like that is one of the most unreal experiences of my life.
Yes.
Yes. And it's like so cool to see the sport, like the younger generation just taking off.
And that's what we want. We wanna leave it better than we found it, I think. It's so important that we want to see cheerleading in another year, 2 years continue to just kinda, like, blow our minds, with how incredibly talented kids are and how it just all of it, the everything that we see come new of cheerleading. It's always, especially coming from a small community, that it's not like your mom's cheerleading anymore. I think, they don't understand, kids people will be like, "Well, did you cheer?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, I cheered in high school, but it was 1999, and it was, like, cool to throw a back handspring."
Yeah,
My own children at 7 years old had already surpassed any skill I had ever done in, stunting, tumbling, anything, and, it's crazy to think about how far we'll go another, 20 years as well.
yeah. Kind of going back to like the social media side, I think having the discussion with your teens early on of the importance and them kind of acknowledging what type of person they are is really important too. So, if I find an athlete who I kind of know, I through just observation kind of see there's someone who's like that. I try to help them just like hone in on like what they're doing and like how amazing they are, whatever skill level it is. I mean, like even a back walk, although I've never done one.
Yeah. Me neither. I went straight to back handspring.
Yeah, straight round off handspring. Like
Yeah. Yep.
I try to just talk to them of like having the conversation so they know they're like it's something of like, hey, if you're this person who like you watching all these videos doesn't inspire you and actually stresses you out, don't do it. Like enjoy yourself. It was really cool. I just want to highlight I got to cheer with someone and I had always dreamed of having someone to tumble with. I've tumbled with so many people, but I've always lived far away from the gym or I've always just wanted to have a friend to really tumble with. And this season, I got to cheer with the amazing Liam Patulski, and he was literally like my tumbling friend dream come true. He was so
Aw,
inspiring, and right now I feel he is the best tumbler in our sport.
let's
And he,
go. I love a
yeah,
good shout out. I love it. I love
yes,
highlighting friends. That's really incredible.
and he's peak talent, but he was someone who I felt appreciated every time I tumbled, didn't matter what I was doing, and he really helped me get through my injury. So I think
Oh,
that it's important to find the people who inspire you.
yes. Oh, absolutely. Okay, so what would your advice be to parents? We always want a takeaway for coaches, athletes, and parents. Um, having now grown up through the sport, what's the best advice for a mom and her dad who just wants to be there for their child and, support their kind of dream and their goals?
My parents were so amazing towards me, and something I just like love is like they really just let me feel, and they never like I would be like so mad after practice sometimes. And I was like, I want to quit, and they'd be like, "See, you can quit. You're not." And I was like, "But that's not what I wanted to hear."
Yeah. Yes.
So I think letting them feel because it is a really emotional sport. There's a
Yes.
lot of aspect to being in a performance based activity. So letting them acknowledge the feeling and then kind of just giving them the opportunity that you know to keep developing and enjoying the sport itself. I think when you're able to kind of take yourself out of comparing anything and just focusing on what matters most, family and your athlete, that's what's going to make them feel the most confident. And I use my parents as like in my head like the prime example. They never put pressure on me to
Yes.
do anything, and I think that's what made me be the best version of myself because it was more just like complete support and in the hard times still getting me together a little bit
Yeah.
of like, hey, like we're sacrificing for you. So, kind of helping me open my eyes as a kid too. In whatever capacity really helped me grow too. Like
Yeah.
and I think that having my them sacrifice for me, it really inspired me and just having fun with it. And I
Yeah.
love like, being present. I was watching the TikTok of like kids coming out of watching like a marching they're like in the marching band and them seeing their parent in the crowd. And it was so cute. And I just think
Mhm.
just being present,
Yeah.
if you're present in any capacity, that is what makes it really special.
Yes, I love it. That's great. Great advice. Okay, talking about these kind of high pressure situations, How do you handle that as an athlete? Like, yes, everyone is watching you. You know, you're everywhere. They wanna see you tumble, they wanna see you like, so you are the epitome of probably having a lot of weight of, wanting to be your best self, and that is probably really hard sometimes. What's your advice to athletes that are feeling that kind of pressure or before those high stake events, end of the season, where we know it's just cheerleading, but for kids sometimes it feels like so much more. How can they help kinda work through that process, or what's your advice?
One There's actually two things I've been really like loving this over the years, and so I created an album of my phone and my favorite performances that I've done. I have it in there, and sometimes I'll rewatch those performances to remind myself of my ability.
Oh, I love
And
that.
yeah, and then it's really cool too because it's like you end up loving things of specific routines that like it could be this moment in time. So like you know, an amazing high five with a friend right after you hit zero, or those things, and it helps like resonate your like mindset of like, yes, like I can do this. I've done this before. And that
Yeah.
reminder. And another thing is delving into other sports and drawing inspiration from other sports. I love. Like I watched this video of Sumi Lee at the Olympics, and her comeback journey this past Olympics was like I would watch her routine, and there's like this one moment she does the first pass, and like the way you just see like her like she lands, and she ended up having so many different health issues leading up to the Olympics. It was really like I'm a huge Singing Lee fan, but when I saw the video of she lands this pass, and you just see this like level of relief, and just like I'm back. Like that was what really inspired me. Come on, DoorDash.
Oh. Yeah,
That
I have
that's what really
goosebumps just
inspired me.
hearing you
So
talk about
after
it.
before every performance this past year, I would watch that specific video and that specific moment and be like,
Oh.
I want that feeling, and to
Yeah. Oh.
manifest it.
Yes, yes, that is just beautiful advice. Okay, so now my next question for you is about those top level athletes. Like what are the similar qualities that you're seeing of, when you're coaching kids or, that you've been on teammates with? What are the qualities that you're seeing? Maybe kind of going back to that positive belief in themselves or that like, being their number one hype. What are the qualities that you see that, other people can look up to?
The level of intrinsic motivation is capitalized. Like
Okay. That's
I
great.
think evolving your intrinsic motivation, it's also a very hard thing to develop as well. Like we all have different types of motivation, but that level of like self determination is like unreal. And that's something I see in a lot of high level athletes is the willingness to do the extra workouts without being asked, the willingness to come in early, stay late, do your 40 videos after your stunt bell. The biggest difference I see in, the highest caliber of athletes is they want to be there and you can feel it. And I know, when you have athletes like that, you're like, stay forever, please.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
if I could have 30 of you, like I really would.
Yeah,
Uh,
and it motivates everyone around them to
yeah.
kinda be better and work harder, and yes, that is crucial.
Growing up, I would say cheerleading is my form of expression, and you see someone like crafting away at their expression, and you see how much they love it, and that is like so important. And I think as a for gym owners and different coaches, opening the door of opportunity of coming maybe 30 minutes early to have the chance, if you can, scheduling everyone's schedule is crazy, but
Yep.
if you can find the time to, you know, maybe stay later for the stunt group to do 2 or 3 extra reps, like do it. Because typically in a stunt group, there is at least 1 or 2 people who they really want to be there, and that intrinsic motivation that speaks everyone else.
Okay, and then how about, a coach's quality? Like, you have been coached by some of the absolute goats in our sport. What are the qualities that you're seeing in them that you think a coach could take away and try to, like, everybody has a different coaching style, but, what is, like, a quality that you think that makes them be able to connect with you as an athlete and kind of, like, inspire you and have you just fall in love with the sport for the long term?
Um, I'm trying to think of the best way for me to approach this question, and I feel the best way is I'll give my biggest takeaways of like each person, like
Yeah.
kind of short. But like Coach Victor is like consistent. He has been the most consistent person in my life, and just being like always being there, being present, being consistent, and then also like following his plan, like knowing as an athlete when you come in, this is your set warm up, not deviating from the plan that they already know, or telling them to practice before, hey, tomorrow is going to be different, and then actually coming through to it. Being that consistent of a coach helps athletes trust you.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yeah.
then Coach Kristen is someone who lets you find your best version of yourself and motivates. And I think she coaches to an individual level, and that's really important as a coach too. Not coaching as a group, but coaching as an individual. And I'd seen her be a different coach to different people. And I
Yes.
think that's really important too. And I kind of really took that away with the Lady Jags. Um, Coach Carlos, he is the person who helped me believe in myself for sure. When I joined CGLC, I could not do a toss hands, and by the end of that season, I was one of the ball stretches, and
Yes. Let's
just
go.
being like someone who is supportive, willing to break down skill set, and explaining a technique to someone, not only verbally but through physical movement and figuring out what motive, not what motivation, finding what way of learning is best for each individual athlete.
Yes.
Some people are auditory, some people are, looking for physical movement or visually learning. So being able to pinpoint that.
Yes. Those are all so good. Gosh, I love it. That's really great. Okay, so what's next? Like what is next for
Ah!
you? Dreams, goals, plans? What is Jack
Well,
Kidney looking
what a
ahead
cool
for?
question. What a cool question.
Yeah.
This is just crazy for me because this is such a different chapter of my life, I guess. And
Yes.
I haven't like talked about it like, publicly really. But basically my main thing I do right now is I travel year round and I have a consulting business with cheerleading and tumbling and going around to a bunch of different programs throughout the US and internationally, just helping, develop the sport, develop people's experience within the sport. I'm going to Belgium next month and then I compete in Brazil again.
Amazing.
I'm going to New Zealand. I just want to keep evolving as a consultant, and my main thing I say right now is that I love to be a small part of a lot of stories.
Oh, that's so great. Okay, so how do coaches and gym owners get in touch with you, to get you out to their program? What's the best way to reach you?
I do a lot of my different work via Instagram through my main account, which is my name, Jack Kidney, and then I also have a whole consulting business where they can email me and I can be a part of whatever they're looking to focus on. Some gyms I do just tumbling, some gyms I do pole choreography. Other gyms I help them, try to help evolve like different revenue streams for them to, keep evolving their gym. So
Yeah.
I just like, you know,
You're the jack of all trades. I love it. That's
I'm
that's so
trying.
great.
I wear a lot of
Yes.
hats, so
No, and you have so much experience, and again, just the positivity that you bring, yeah, just making a difference everywhere you go is so special, and that ripple effect of even that little bit in everyone's story is just yeah, that this world is so lucky to have you in it, and
well,
our
thank
sport is
you.
so lucky to have you in it. And then the last kind of thing that I wanna touch on is as you get ready to officially retire at some point, I know that you're still performing, a lot of athletes have kind of spoken on episodes about how hard it is to know who you are without being an athlete. Like, and I love that you're continuing your love of the sport by giving back in other ways. But is there any kind of advice, even like you said, coming from your injury, to accept that, like, you love Jack without being the phenomenal tumbler athlete. What's your advice for those people that are transitioning out of the sport? And yeah, we're so lucky, like I said, to do what we love every day, but not
Yeah,
every kid in the world gets that opportunity and at some point has to put those cheer shoes up and find their purpose again. Or, yeah, so kind of what's your advice for that?
I think something that really helped me during the time, kind of weird to say, but I already feel like I did retire when I got injured. So everything else has kind of been a plus. But for me, going and finding different things I like to do outside of the sport. And really, I love going to the beach, and I live in Florida, so I was going to the beach a lot,
Yep, good.
and also finding like different physical movement. So I like do a lot of different handstand block stuff like on and stuff like this. I love it. Finding different movement that helps me, and I did. I like to just try different like classes. The only thing I don't recommend, I did a like cycling class in a sauna one time, and I was like, never doing that again. So like, not everything you'll try you'll like, but
Yeah. But
yeah,
finding just different things and I love that you're able to continue, like, your love of the sport, and I think that there is so many ways that athletes can continue to give back to a sport that they love so much, whether it be coaching, whether it be consulting, whether it be, volunteering somewhere, and even if it's a little youth program, getting something started, but yeah,
yeah.
the love of the sport is so important.
And I think one thing I want to highlight too is just like the lessons and things you learn in cheerleading, you really can apply to so many different aspects of life: determination, motivation, finishing, seeing something through. So I, even in the realms of non cheerleading life, I still bring so much of what I do to cheerleading
Yeah, all those
into it.
lessons that are so important. Yeah. Awesome. Well, you are amazing. I'm
This was so
so
fun.
yay,
Lo-
good, good. I love it. I mean, you bring so much good to cheerleading. So thank you for all you do, all the ways that you motivate and inspire not only kids, but also us as coaches and gym owners. Yeah, you're super
Well,
special.
you
And
inspired me, my friend, and
oh,
knowing there's gym owners and people like you in our industry who have the passion, the heart, the positivity, that's all I could really dream of and one of my biggest pet peeves in life.
oh, well, thank you
So
so
I
much.
get
But
to be
yeah,
involved.
no, it means so much that you came on to give back, and, I'm excited to keep following you and seeing you, and, we're so grateful to have you come into work with our team here soon and our teams in our gym,
Yes, I'm
and
so
every
excited.
program that gets just even just a little bit of you is just, so lucky. So, keep doing what you're doing, and know we're cheering you on every step of the way, and thank you so much for being a guest today.
Oh, thank you. I was here for cheer.
Yes.
We're here for cheer.